Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montevilla Sewing Center, and today we're going to talk about the maintenance on the Elna eXperience 560. So to start with, I want to tell you that when you're doing maintenance on your machine, you're going to be working with a needle, and in this area, you want to make sure that you turn off the power on your machine so you don't accidentally get it started sewing. But because I need light to show you what we're doing, we're going to leave the light on for this video. Okay, to start out with, we're going to take the thread out of here, and notice I clipped it up at the top. We pull it out at the needle area. That's important because you don't want lint building up in your tension discs. So no pulling your thread out backwards through your machine. Remember, snip, pull it out at the needle area. Okay, now to start with, let's take that foot off of there, that little button in the back, just as a quick release for the foot. Then we're going to take the needle plate off. Oh, we forgot. I'm going to take out the bobbin. We'll take that out too. Okay. Take out the needle plate, undo the screws here and here, and as soon as they're up high enough, you can go ahead and just undo those with your fingers. Okay, I forgot one thing. We're going to take that needle out of there because that's important. Get that out of the way. So loosen it a little bit with the screwdriver, and then just pull that straight down and off to the side. Now notice I took the foot off before doing that because that way I'm not accidentally scratching this against it protects the point of the needle from being scratched on the foot. So I'm going to put this over here where it's safe, and notice I put the little screws over there. They're small too, so don't leave stuff like that can fall on the floor. Put it in your little sewing basket somewhere safe. Now, we lift this off. I just like to lift it off right there in front. And as soon as I have this off, this is a needle plate, put the cover right back on. That also keeps it safe. So put that off to one side. The main maintenance you need to do on your machine is to make sure that the lint is cleaned out of the bottom of your machine, and also to make sure that you have a nice sharp needle that is not old or worn out, but is nice and ready to sew. So, how often to clean your machine? Well, I would say if you're not familiar with your machine, clean it a little more often than you think you would need it. If you sew every day, clean it once a week. If you sew maybe a couple times a week, once a month should be about right. Okay, let's take out the bobbin case. It lifts out like that. And we want to clean that bobbin case on all sides, inside, outside, every which way. And then visually inspect your cutter, your thread cutter right here, to see if there's any little pieces of thread. I hardly ever see that, but if you do, just take some tweezers and pull that out. Then you want to clean in here really good, because that's kind of where the stitches form, and that's where lint can form also. You also want to clean between the feed dogs here. That's especially important if you've sewn some fuzzy fabric like fleece or flannel especially builds up in there. And I talked about the frequency of cleaning your machine, but if you are sewing something like flannel pajamas or something like that, even if you've just cleaned your machine right before you sewed those flannel pajamas, clean it again afterwards. You want to, because that flannel is going to build up right in here. If you get enough fuzz in there, eventually the feed dogs aren't going to be able to do their job. So check that frequently. Now, you can also take your vacuum cleaner hose, and as you're brushing up lint, that lint will go up into the vacuum cleaner. But do not use canned air. Canned air has two problems with it. First of all, it really tends to blow stuff further back in your machine. That's not cleaning it out. And the second and the worst thing that I have noticed is that when you use canned air, if you spray it long enough, it starts to spray frost on whatever you're spraying. Frost is moisture, and you don't want to put moisture in your machine. So no canned air, vacuum cleaner hose is okay, or just simply cleaning it out. Another thing I don't like to use is Q-tips, because they tend to leave their own lint. So a good brush is really what you want, like this. This will reach into places all over. Now, once you've got it cleaned, we're going to put the bobbin case back in. Now, this part of the bobbin case sits on that metal rim all the way around. And then this little knob is going to be to the left of that stopper. So we scoop it underneath the feed dogs and make sure it's laying flat like that. I usually like to rock it a little bit just to make sure it's sitting flat on that rim. Also, if you notice, there's this little indented triangle right here and this little red triangle. Those are pointing right straight across from each other, so you know you have the bobbin case the correct way. So we're going to put this back on here. Then just drop that on and get the little screws out of the sewing basket where they've been safely stored. And then I'm going to just put these in. You can do this pretty quickly by hand. Then you get your screwdriver and just tighten it up the rest of the way. And this is a nice short screwdriver that fits underneath the head of the machine. Just tighten it up, and just snug is all you need. You don't really need it tight, just snug. That's good. And then we're going to put the needle back in. Now, the needle has a flat side to it. Standard sewing machine needles all have this flat side. That flat side faces towards the back of your machine. Now, I like this little tool. This I bought extra for sewing. It's a multi-purpose tool. It's actually a FOF or Viking tool, but I use it to insert the needle. Notice how it has this flat side right there, a little flat place. You could put that in there. It's going to keep that flat part of the needle towards the back. Plus, it's like an extra hand here. It makes it easier to put my needle in. Now, when I'm putting the needle in, I start out poking the needle down right there where it sews, then I bring it straight up and right up into the needle clamp. And you always want it, when you put your needle in, you want to have it all the way up to the stopper. Well, this tool is helping me to make sure it's all the way up to the stopper. Yes, I could use my fingers, but this makes it easier for me personally. Tighten that up, get your screwdriver, and give it another little tighten. And this screwdriver is made so you can use any of the corners or even the side of the screwdriver to tighten things up. Slide that off like that. Then we're going to put the foot right back on here, lower the presser lever, there we go. That's maintenance on your machine. Now, how often to change your needle? What I've been told, and it seems to work well in my experience, see how full this bobbin is. It's actually, you can get it a little bit fuller, but every 3 bobbin fulls of thread, every 3 full bobbins that you use up, by that time, your needle has gone through made so many stitches that it's starting to get a little bit dull at the tip. So every 3 full bobbins, time to change that needle to a fresh needle. And a dull needle, even if it works, even if it's making stitches without skipping stitches, and it might, but even it's still making stitches, it could be damaging your fabric because it's not going cleanly through your fabric. So that's why I'm emphasizing a fresh needle every now and then is a good thing. And use good quality needles. Don't use needles that are like cheap or old or in a bubble pack. Schmetz is a good quality needle. Classe is a good quality needle. Of course, we sell both of those here at Montevilla Sewing Center. So that's your basic machine maintenance. If this video was helpful to you, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments or questions, you can leave them in the little area down below. We have lots of other videos on this machine specifically. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.